So you have opinions. Why am I here?
Welcome back to Starlit. Astra here.
Nova here.
We've got our cider, we've got our avocado toast, and we're going to be talking this time about Nova's big pet peeve. So Nova really cares about the difference between power and energy. So she's going to be talking about that while I eat.
You made me sound so pedantic.
Am I wrong?
It takes a fair amount of cider before I go off on it.
Then drink.
Cheers. Hold on one sec. Okay. So power and energy, they're used interchangeably in common language, and generally that's fine, but it leads to a lot of really annoying misconceptions about what power and energy are. And yes, this is something that you learned in elementary physics, but let's be real, most of us forgot elementary physics, myself included, and I do it every day. The difference between power and energy. Energy is a quantity that is conserved.
It's like a big bucket of a bunch of power. Yeah, I only married her so that I could fuck with an astrophysicist 24/7. That was my life goal. I've reached it. My other life goal was a puppy. Cece's sleeping off camera. It's great.
When we talk about an object's ability to do work, things like that, yes, these are all physics terms, we're referring to energy. Power is a rate. Specifically, it is the rate at which energy is transferred or otherwise
Energy
moved.
per second, energy per hour.
When you equate power and energy, you're basically equating distance with speed. They're not the same thing. Distance is how far you go. Speed is how quickly you go that distance.
You know, I once traveled 15 miles per hour in one day. You see, it's just the same as saying I once traveled 15 miles in a day.
No, it's really not.
You know, if you run a marathon, you gotta run 26.2 miles per hour.
Good luck with that. Anyway, when we talk about your light bulb, and they say it's a 60-watt light bulb, we're not talking about how much energy the light bulb has. The light bulb doesn't have energy. It's getting energy from the outlet, which is basically carrying energy from a power station where you're converting typically heat into kinetic energy, which becomes electrical energy. The point is, it doesn't have energy. A 60-watt light bulb burns 60 joules, that's a unit of energy, per second. So it's just telling you how fast it burns energy. And nowadays, we have LEDs, which have watt equivalents. Those aren't actually burning 60 watts. They're just as bright as a 60-watt incandescent bulb.
I once traveled 4 knots.
That's also a speed.
Yeah, not by the way.
You can say you traveled
miles
at 4
per
knots.
hour.
I don't know how long you did.
No, I specifically, I went from one point to another. The distance was 4 knots.
No. 4 nautical miles, maybe.
No, specifically 4 knots.
Yeah, you just like hurting me, don't you?
Yeah, I do. That's as I said earlier, that's the reason I married you. Please don't divorce me. I love you so much.
Energy is a conserved quantity. It comes in a lot of different forms. For example, kinetic energy, which quantifies how fast you're going. So it's basically the energy contained in your motion. There's heat, which is actually an aggregate of kinetic energy. It's basically it's due to the fact that particles are moving, and so each particle has kinetic energy, and so you can add all that energy together. There's also things that people talk about like potential energy. So gravitational potential energy is something you have when you're up high, and it can be converted to kinetic energy when you fall.
Yeah, when I was little, I was told I had a lot of potential. It didn't translate to power, I gotta say.
It translated to energy, though. Specifically, it was conserved.
Are you you saying I didn't spend any of my potential and I just squandered
And
it
an
all?
important point. When I say energy is a conserved quantity, you cannot create and you cannot destroy energy. The amount of energy you have is fixed. You also have energy in the form of your mass. That's the E equals mc squared thing that you might be familiar with. And you can convert your mass to energy. But the total amount of energy in the universe, as we know it, is fixed. Power is not conserved. Power is just the rate at which you move energy around.
So I think the most important part of this was that you came up with the sickest burn ever. Your potential energy was conserved. Devastating. You rocked me to my core there.
Good.
This is why she married me.
When you talk about how your phone is running out of power, it's not really running out of power. It's running out of energy. Specifically, the battery in your phone has a lot of chemical potential energy that gets converted to electrical energy, and that's what makes your phone work. When your phone is dying, it's running out of energy, and it's true that that means that your battery is no longer able to supply sufficient power. It's not able to supply enough energy every second to keep your phone going, but you're not really running out of power. You're running out of energy. So that's an example of how these things get misused, and why when people show up in a physics classroom, they tend to have some weird misconceptions about which is which. I think that's it. Yeah, just power and energy aren't interchangeable. I get that they both come up colloquially a lot, but it's an annoying misconception because a lot of people talk about energy and power, particularly power, in ways that really don't make sense. That's it.
Astra out.
Nova out.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Astra, to the stars, to the stars.